All right, we're gonna go over some electrical information. So a few safety things. You don't wanna be standing in water when you plug in, disconnect from the water. And partly it's because it's kind of a live system going on. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but if I unplug or when I plug back in, there's usually a little bit of a spark because there's stuff going on. So I don't know if you heard that, but just be very careful with that. Make sure you're safe when doing that. Something also to keep in mind, again, this is the dog bone. I'm just going to unplug. I should unplug down there. It's a little easier. I don't know if you saw that. There was a spark there too. But make sure the generator is not running. This is a 30 amp plug. So you can extend this or pull all this cable out, plug in when you're at a full hookup to the 30 amp. It'll be pretty obvious because it looks opposite of this. But also, yeah, and then this is where you plug in to access or have it go into the generator. So you can just plug that in and start the generator to get power that way. So again, don't unplug and plug in while the generator's running. So that's one safety tip. Let's see. Also, this extension cord is actually a higher gauge. It's a 12 gauge extension cord. Again, you're not going to be able to run your AC units, neither of them, off of this. You'll be able to run the microwave, but that's about it, as well as all the outlets and appliances and things like that. But AC units, they're not going to be able to run off of, if you're ever plugged into an extension cord. This is just for like when I'm at home to keep the refrigerator running, or I could go in and use the vacuum cleaner and vacuum out the RV, things like that. So keep that in mind. So that's a higher gauge extension cord there. So we might as well just go right back into the generator. This is the oil pan. If you're using the generator daily, please check the oil, make sure it's got enough in there. You untwist this, it's just a tiny little dipstick, and it'll give you a little bit of reading here. I might actually add a little bit of oil. It doesn't need much, it's about halfway. So, and this actually screws on pretty tight. In fact, I even got the hot water wrench out so I can use that to tighten it down. All right, so this is where the generator is located, right in the back. You operate it or turn it on by pressing a button right on the dashboard. And if it doesn't start right away, I mean, you could hold it down for like 10 seconds. If it doesn't start right away, maybe it's cold out or something, and just try it again. You actually can start it back here. So anyway, that's how you start it in the back. Have you need a reason for that. Something to keep in mind though is this generator actually pulls from the gas tank, the main gas tank. It will only pull down to a fourth. That way you don't run out of gas running the generator, so you're not stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So keep that in mind. If it quits, maybe it's because you're at a fourth tank. All right, so real quick, this is the battery disconnect. So you can actually physically, or like it'll stop drawing from the battery by pressing down is going to be disconnecting from the power. As you can see, actually some of our lights turned off because they disconnected from the auxiliary battery power, which I think it's unplugged right now, so that makes sense. I'm gonna plug it back in, lights turn off, yay. And then obviously the main, same thing, disconnect, press the top part to turn it on. I've got a little label here that says turn it on.
So why would that be important?
If you can't start or your lights aren't turning on, make sure that these are turned on.